What is going on, everybody? Today we are going to make this couch, or the side table, that slides underneath and over top of the side of your couch so that you can have your coffee, your drink, your remote right there next to you, nice and comfortable. Now, this was built for a client, and this is not my design. If you look down in the description below, FourSquare Woodworks, I don't know if this is his design, but he makes these and sells these. Now, this was custom for the couch of the client that I built this for, which is why he didn't go buy them. But if you want something just like this, go down, look at FourSquare Woodworks, link in the description below, and get one from him. Now let me show you how I built this. Jumping right into this build, we are going to move over to the milling section of the shop and get these big pieces of ash milled down to the proper thicknesses that we want. And I have this digital Wixie gauge on my Grizzly planer, and it is awesome. Being an engineer, I like making sure everything is super duper accurate. Is that absolutely necessary in woodworking? No, but I enjoy that. Once we are down to thickness, we're going to move over to the Harvey table saw, where we're going to rip down that ash to what is going to be the legs of the table and the base of the table. These are all the same dimensions, and we're going to start with the base because we need to get that glued up. So I can glue it up, set it to the side, and do other things. So we're just putting a 45 on the four sides of this couch table, and then we're going to glue it up and set it to the side. We will put splines in it later on, and I'm using some of these Bessie frame clamps to glue this up, and it worked out perfectly, absolutely square. To add those splines that I mentioned, we're back over at the table saw. You obviously want to make sure that everything is cured so your glue is fully set up, and then this is a spline jig that I made years ago. It used to go over the fence of an older table saw, but now I just run it up against the fence and it works just fine. All it does is hold that workpiece at a 45-degree angle so that you can cut your spline slot into them. And then I have an 1/8 inch thick piece of wood. I cut these down relatively small so that I was not wasting a whole bunch of my pieces. And this is just another offcut of ash that we are gluing in there and making sure is perfectly set in that spline slot. Once it has cured, cut it down with a flush cut saw, sand it, and you are good to go. You might ask why go through the effort of splines, but the end grain glue on that 45 is not the strongest in the world, so the spline has a lot of strength. I would like to take a quick pause from this video and let you know about the sponsor today, who is our friends over at Carolina Boots, long-time sponsor of the channel. Right now, if you use the code DIY15 at the Carolina website, link in the description below, you will save 15% off up until October 15th of this year. So again, DIY15 to get your very own pair of boots or shoes. They got something for everybody. And I ain't exactly proud to say how many pairs that I have, but like this, I have these Lightning, very light, comfortable, kind of a tennis shoe, but they have an aluminum toe to protect your toes. This is a brand new pair that I got. This is the Ferric line from Carolina, made in the United States, out in Pennsylvania. I love all the American flags all over that. We got Carolina accessories. I got the Chancellor line on my feet right now. That's kind of my main pair that I wear right now. I've worn through some miserably wet conditions. I'll post a picture of that as I'm talking right here, and my feet were totally dry. So highly, highly recommend Carolina Boots. Like I said, they've been a long-term supporter of the channel, so anytime you help them out, it helps us out. DIY15, so you can save 15% off your order at Carolina Shoe, link down in the description below. As you saw in the thumbnail, the legs are 45'd and they have a nice rounded angle on the base and the table portion of this couch side table. So to do that, we're gluing a block in place that we can then 45 cut when we make the cuts for the legs final length, like we're doing right here. And then at the bottom, we'll also round that over and sand it so it's a nice uniform radius going into the top and bottom. Laying the legs out here so that I can get this measurement, this angle, which I think is 23 degrees. To lay out the first one, then we can go from there. We need to make sure here that we cut them all the right way, because this one, we need dado on this side. This one, we need the dado on the other side. Here I am measuring the thickness of the leg, and then I will divide that in half and set the dado stack thickness so that I get exactly where I want to go. This is a depth gauge from Chips Fly. There's a link down in the description below if you're interested. But again, the inner engineer really like this kind of stuff. 23 degrees on the Harvey compass gauge, and I got a stop block here that is set so that I can run the angle up against the stop block and then flip it over and run it this way. Because we have these glued in here already, we got to make sure we flip it accordingly. And let me also just preface that this took me a long time to dial in exactly where I wanted it to be. Lots of finesse work that the magic of editing gets to take out of there for you. All that time invested making sure the setup was repeatable and accurate paid off though, because it only took me a couple of minutes to cut all of these half dados into the legs. And you need to be careful. You mess that up, you ruin all the work you've done up to that point. But once that is done, we're going to go over to the bandsaw and we're going to cut a radius on those little pieces that we glued on later. I'm just using a Dixie cup to mark that in so that we can then move over to the bandsaw with a thin blade and cut that curve, and then we will move over and clean everything up on the oscillating spindle sander. With the dados cut and our radii cleaned up, it's time to glue up the leg portion. Generous amount of glue, make sure we get full coverage in there. Hammer everything home with a soft blow mallet, and then get a Bessie clamp on there to make sure everything is nice and snug. Also, I'm going to be using what is a base of one of the tables to make sure that the spread of my legs does not change, because we don't want to have to sand that down and have some weird angles. So we wanted to make sure, I think these were 18 or 18 and a half. We want to make sure that's exactly what we have. And by now, you've probably figured out that I got 2 of these tables going on, which is what the other portion is. So glue them up, set them to the side, and then we can move on to other things like cutting what is going to be the top of the table. This was super easy over at the Harvey table saw with a big eye rip fence system. Rip it down to width, and then with the compass miter gauge, cut it down to its final length. Off camera, I had to figure out how I wanted to get everything clamped up here. So at first I tried to do the foot and the tabletop at the same time, and it wasn't working because everything was sliding. I wasn't able to keep everything pinched together. And then I hot glued some of the offcuts onto here so that I could get even clamping pressure. And then I also used this gear clamp, this Bessie gear clamp, to make sure I didn't squeeze everything or spread these open one way or the other. And then I used a square against the tabletop, which I know is flat, to make sure everything is nice and perpendicular here. Originally I was setting it onto here, but with a little bit of sanding, I think I curved over one of these legs a little bit, so it was throwing everything off. I didn't understand what was going on, but putting it on the table is the way to go. So now I will show you how I did it over here. We'll glue the offcuts. So the offcuts from here, we're taking and gluing on like this so that we can get even clamping pressure here. And we are using hot glue, kind of an unspoken hero of the shop. Quick to use, works well, breaks loose when you're done with it. I want to make sure I'm not lifting this up when I glue this on. So if anything, setting this a little bit high. Also choosing to use liquid nails here because in case there's any gaps, this will fill, whereas wood glue will not work. Wood glue needs contact wood to wood. And if there's any gap while I'm trying to square things up or anything like that, this will be superior. Now doesn't this just look fantastic? We got our construction adhesive on there, everything's going together great. That is not the case. So while everything seemed to go together fantastically, maybe I didn't have enough construction adhesive in there, but once I started drilling for the dowels, which we'll show later on in the videos, I actually broke the tops off of both of these sets of table legs. So off camera, I went back, cleaned up the construction adhesive, and ended up using a product from Titebond called Quick and Thick, which did a much better job. I did make sure I had great clamping, so I had wood contact. Anyway, if I was to go back again, just go right to the Quick and Thick, but the process is the same, using some smaller clamps on those angled pieces that I glued on to make sure I had straight clamping pressure. It worked out fantastic. This is an end grade to side grain glue joint, not the strongest in the world, and same thing over here. So what I'm going to do is drill through and add a nice 1.5 or 2 inches of dowel right there. I've already done it on these, and we'll do it on this one. To mark out where I want the dowels, I'm using 2 different squares so that I don't have to make any adjustments, and we're doing this on the top and the bottom on all sides on all of the legs. You can see the blue tape on my drill bit. After all of this time, you want to make sure you don't blow a hole through an opposite side. So pay attention. I like using the tape method so I can adjust and maintain the depth of my drill holes. And then I'm just hammering home a dowel with some glue on there, clean it up, flush cut it, sand it, and we are ready to go. On the tops only, I am using the cordless router to add a very subtle round over. I believe this was an 1/8 inch round over, so very tiny, as you can see right here, which protects the edge from getting damaged, the 90-degree edge from getting damaged, and just adds a nice subtle soft look. And then using the sander to make sure I got sanded up to 220 grit on all sides. And while it's a small piece, there's an awful lot of sides to make sure you remember and get sanded up with no swirl marks. For the finish on this, I am going to be using Rubio Monocoat Chocolate. I don't like this stuff. I'll just be straight up. I like Rubio Monocoat Pure. If I was to go do something like this again, I would stain with a stain that I'm more comfortable with, and then put the Rubio Monocoat Pure over the top. But the chocolate, I thought when I was doing a big table for the same client here, was a 12x5 table, I thought using the chocolate would be much faster. On the tabletop, it wasn't bad, but on these it was a total pain in the neck. Now I'm adding some felt for the client so that he won't scratch his hardwood floors, and these are ready to show off. And this is how it slides over the armrest of the couch and under the foot, so it snugs up right next to where you are sitting. There is nothing better after a long day of work to kick off the Carolinas, sit down at your couch, enjoy a long drink for the long day, and enjoy the fruits of your hard labor. I hope you guys enjoyed this build. Remember, if you want one of these, check out the link in the description below, FourSquare Woodworks, where you can buy one for your couch. Thank you to Carolina for being such a great partner for the channel for such a long time. Check out the link down in the description, the promo code, so you guys can get your very own pair of Carolina boots. Highly recommend. Hope you guys enjoyed this build. If you did, please hammer that thumbs up button, as it helps us out and gets this video in front of more eyes. I'm DIY Tyler, and you guys have a good one.